Bonsoir à tous, bienvenue. Donc ce soir, nous allons parler des études de sciences politiques et relations internationales à l'étranger. Nous avons ce soir avec nous trois intervenants d'universités étrangères. Donc je vais pour ma part commencer par une brève présentation de Study Expérience et des études relations internationales, sciences politiques à l'étranger pour les étudiants français. Et après, les différents intervenants prendront la parole et parleront un peu plus de leur programme spécifique. Donc, dans un premier temps, ce sera Matthew Jonis de Drew University qui prendra la parole, suivi de Jiayi Liu de George Mason University aux États-Unis, pour finir avec Cristina Fasone de la Luis en Italie à Rome. Euh, Durant la présentation des différents intervenants, vous pourrez nous poser des questions dans le chat. J'essaierai dans la mesure du possible d'y répondre. Et on aura encore un temps à la fin des présentations pour répondre aux questions qui n'auront pas été répondues dans un premier temps ou s'il y en a d'autres qui arrivent par la suite. Donc, n'hésitez pas. Vous pouvez également lever la main si vous avez un souci. Donc, les études de sciences politiques et relations internationales à l'étranger sont accessibles donc, pour tous les Français. Study Experience donc, est une agence de conseil et d'accompagnement pour les étudiants qui souhaitent partir étudier à l'étranger. Donc, notre rôle, c'est à chaque conseiller donc, de déjà, dans un premier temps, répondre aux questions que vous pouvez vous poser sur les universités ou sur les différents programmes et vous aider à trouver la bonne université et le bon programme qui correspond à la fois à votre niveau académique, à votre niveau linguistique, si vous souhaitez étudier en anglais, en espagnol ou autre, à votre budget également, et puis aussi à vos préférences, si vous êtes plus urbain, plus rural, si vous aimez le ski, la ville réellement. Donc vraiment, on essaie de trouver le bon match, l'université et le programme qui correspond à votre projet et aussi à votre profil. Une fois qu'on a sélectionné ensemble plusieurs programmes et universités, on va vous aider dans les procédures administratives, donc monter les dossiers sur les différentes plateformes. Il va falloir que vous traduisiez vos relevés de notes des différentes années. Donc, en fonction des universités, il va y avoir différents prérequis. Il y en a qui vont vouloir les 2 dernières années, l'autre les 3 dernières. Certains vont demander des lettres de motivation, certains vont demander des tests supplémentaires en fonction du programme. Donc, nous, on est vraiment là pour vous dire, bon, ben, pour cette université-là, vous allez devoir faire ceci, cela, cela, amener tel document de manière à pouvoir avoir une offre. Une fois que vous avez vos offres, on vous accompagne dans la préparation au départ, donc tout ce qui va être un petit peu vous aiguiller sur les hébergements, pour les demandes de visa si jamais il y en a, pour ce qui va être ne pas oublier les assurances santé, et puis beaucoup rassurer à la fois les étudiants et également les parents, de manière à ce que vous partiez serein pour vivre ces aventures. Dans les personnes qui se sont inscrites pour le webinaire ce soir, on a eu plusieurs fois des questions qui sont revenues, donc je vais essayer d'y répondre assez rapidement. Donc, la question qui revenait le plus était pour quel profil d'étudiants sont les études de sciences politiques et de relations internationales. Donc, c'est des études qui sont plutôt pour des étudiants, donc déjà qui souhaitent travailler dans le domaine de l'international, mais pas obligatoirement dans le commerce ou qui n'ont pas encore une idée spécifique. C'est des étudiants qui sont assez ouverts à tout, curieux, qui souhaitent toucher un petit peu à tout, qui souhaitent s'ouvrir, qui ont déjà une bonne culture littéraire ou qui souhaitent la développer. Donc des étudiants vraiment assez transversaux, assez variés, mais qui en tout cas ont une bonne maîtrise des langues et qui souhaitent travailler dans le domaine de l'international. En effet, les études de sciences politiques, relations internationales ne vont pas être obligatoirement ultra spécifiques. Alors, bien sûr, il y aura des cours de Sciences Po, etc. Mais ça va être aussi l'objectif est de vous donner un socle de compétences interdisciplinaires. Vraiment une bonne culture, un bon socle qui vous permet après soit de travailler ou de partir sur différents masters. Donc, l'idée, c'est vraiment de vous donner des clés, des capacités donc d'analyse critique, de réflexion, de rédaction écrite, d'expression orale, une méthodologie pour divers domaines, de travail de synthèse par exemple également, apprendre à gérer des projets, il y a pas mal de travail de groupe, vraiment, ça, c'est vraiment la base. Après, au niveau des matières en tant que telles, il y aura toujours des cours de relations internationales, de la théorie, de l'histoire, de la philosophie, souvent aussi de la sociologie. Donc, tous ces domaines vraiment assez transversaux. Et après, chaque université va avoir vraiment euh, des spécificités en fonction du pays dans lequel elle est, en fonction de l'histoire de l'État américain, en fonction de l'histoire européenne. Donc, par exemple, vous aurez des gender studies, vous pouvez avoir des histoires des aborigènes en Australie, vous pouvez avoir l'histoire des Amérindiens aux États-Unis, des war studies, du European Union politics. Donc vraiment, ce qui est important aussi quand un étudiant va choisir son université pour sciences politiques, relations internationales, c'est vraiment de regarder un petit peu les spécificités des programmes que propose chaque université pour voir celui qui peut-être lui parle le plus en fonction de ce que vous souhaitez faire ou de ce qui vous intéresse. Certaines universités, la plupart, vont aussi proposer ce qu'on appelle des combined honors. Donc, ça va être la possibilité de combiner plusieurs matières. Parce que, comme on disait, relations internationales, sciences politiques, c'est un sujet en tant que tel, mais ça peut être aussi rattaché très facilement à d'autres sujets, notamment les sciences politiques et l'histoire. On a également du droit et des sciences politiques. Il y a beaucoup d'étudiants qui font droit et sciences politiques pour pouvoir travailler justement dans les ONG ou dans les institutions internationales. Le fameux PPE, Philosophy, Politics and Economics, qui est proposé notamment à la Louis à Rome. Il y a également des étudiants qui vont faire relations internationales et management, relations internationales et commerce. Donc, c'est vraiment assez large. Donc, c'est vraiment pour des étudiants qui vont... c'est pas obligatoirement pour des étudiants qui savent déjà ce qu'ils veulent faire, mais ils savent qu'ils veulent travailler dans ce domaine de relations internationales. D'ailleurs, après des études de sciences politiques, après un bachelor, la plupart des étudiants vont, certains tout de suite trouver du travail parce qu'ils savent, ils ont fait un stage ou autre, mais il y en a beaucoup qui vont se spécialiser en master, donc en master justement droit européen ou en politique européenne, gestion de projets européens, en droit humanitaire, pour pouvoir travailler après dans différentes ONG. Il y en a qui partent sur des masters de journalisme parce que c'est une bonne base pour faire du journalisme, sciences politiques, relations internationales. Il y en a qui partent sur des masters en droit. Vous avez aussi pas mal d'étudiants qui vont revenir en France ou rester à l'étranger, mais pour faire un master justement à Sciences Po Paris ou autre, ou des masters qui seront en double avec des grandes universités françaises. Donc vraiment, le bachelor Politics and International Relations vous offre une grande possibilité au niveau des masters derrière et du travail que vous pourrez faire. À la question qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire comme travail après un bachelor sciences politiques relations internationales, c'est vraiment très très varié et c'est ça qui est souvent pas mal parce qu'on ne sait pas obligatoirement exactement quel métier on veut faire tout de suite en sortant du bac et puis aussi parce que ça nous donne la possibilité plus tard de pouvoir peut-être changer tout en restant dans le domaine international. Donc voilà pour les présentations assez rapides. Chaque université va présenter un peu plus ses programmes et ses universités. Pour rappel, chaque prérequis va différer d'une université à l'autre. Dans tous les cas, ils vous demanderont toujours vos relevés de notes, votre bac, bien sûr, et un certain niveau de langue. Donc ça sera un prérequis qui est non négociable. Si vous êtes débutant en anglais, vous ne pourrez pas rentrer directement dans l'université, mais après, ça, c'est des choses dans lesquelles nous, on vous accompagne. Donc, je vais laisser la parole à Mathieu. Pour rappel, si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas à les mettre dans le chat. Je vais essayer de vous répondre. Et je vais essayer d'arrêter de partager mon écran. OK. Matthew? Can you put your microphone?
Yeah, let me just
Donc, les présentations suivantes vont être faites en anglais, ce qui va vous permettre de vérifier aussi un petit peu votre niveau IELTS, TOEFL. Matthew?
bonsoir, je m'appelle Matthew. Je n'ai pas français. So, yes, as you were informed, the rest of this will be conducted in English, but I will try my best to be New Yorker slow so that everyone can understand what I'm talking about. So I'm from Drew University. We are a school in New Jersey, 45 minutes away from New York City. And just to give you some general fast facts about my university that might intrigue you at the start, we are a top 100 national ranked college by US News and World Report. We're very small. We have only around 2,000 students. For some students, that's awesome. That's their perfect fit that they want that smaller community. For other students, that's their worst nightmare. And I'm sure there's plenty of other universities on this call that are a little bit bigger than us. That might be a more personalized fit for you if you're looking for that. And in particular, we're very flexible with our curriculum. 22% of our students graduate with a double major. And we're very much about using Drew University and our surrounding areas as a laboratory for learning, which is how I'm going to particularly talk about this with political science and international relations. So there's three main reasons why someone comes to Drew University, specifically to study political science and international relations. So first is our location. Like I said before, we're located 45 minutes away from New York City by train. We are a kilometer walk from the train station from campus, really allowing you to take advantage of New York for academics purposes. You can get jobs and internships in New York, but also for recreational purposes. If you want to go see a sports game, plenty of options in New York. This summer, Taylor Swift performed at MetLife Stadium, 25 minutes away from campus. So very easy to go in if she comes on back, because everyone loves Taylor Swift. Academically wise, you don't have to make up your mind about your choice. If you want to study political science and international relations, that's awesome. I studied that at university, and I like to say that it's played a really big role in kind of the job that I'm doing now. But plenty of students change their mind, pick up a double major. Maybe there's another subject you have an interest in as a minor, or you want a double major. That's perfectly fine until you have the end of your second year to figure out exactly what you want to study, whether it is with political science and international relations, or whether it's something else entirely, or something in combination. And third, and I think most impactful, is our experiential activities. So I mentioned before, we really use New York City as a laboratory for learning. And one of the best ways we do this is through our New York City semester programs. We have 7 of them: Wall Street, United Nations, Media Communications, Art, Theater, Corporate Responsibility, and Museums and Cultural Management. Now, for students on this call, the two most impactful ones that I think you'd be interested in would be our United Nations semester and our Social Impact semester. So I'll give you a bit of information about those two. So all these programs, no matter which one you choose to do, you can do one, you can do more, you don't have to do any. But twice a week in the morning, you go into New York City, and you're going to be taking classes physically in New York. Our UN program, their offices and locations are a block away from the United Nations building. You literally can see the UN from your classroom. So in the morning, you're learning theoretical concepts. You're learning about international organizations. You're learning about war. You're learning about the sustainable development goals. But the afternoon is where it gets really, really fun. Because in the afternoon, every single time our students are in New York City, they're meeting with organizations or diplomats that relate to what you're talking about. So, one afternoon you can be meeting with the head of UNESCO. Another afternoon you can be meeting with one of the you can be meeting with the French consulate to the United Nations. We're a registered NGO with the United Nations as well. So during GA week, our students are able to actually sit in on sessions of the United Nations, which is a really cool and outstanding object. And I said before that you get to meet with the consulate to the UN. One of the assignments our professor has for international students is to meet with your own consulate to the United Nations. And many of our students have actually interned with their consulate to the UN from the connections that they had in this class. Our semester on social impact is really focused on the combination and the intersection of where for-profit business meets corporate social responsibility. And a lot of people might be thinking, well, how is that related to international relations and political science? Well, a lot of times, if you're talking about what factors a for-profit company might be talking about for environmental science or for mining, or let's say you're talking about telecom companies and how they play with different laws and regulations around the world. It's a very interesting aspect to see how your interest in political science, or if you've done model UN or model government, really impact with the corporate world as well. So both of these programs are unique to Drew. They're exclusive to Drew. They really are special, and I think are a highlight of many students' time at our university, not just in the UN and social impact program, but if they choose to do one of the other semester programs as well. One of the key things that we have is internships. All right, so students at Drew are interning in a wide variety of different areas. In the traditional, more international relations sense, we've had students go to UNICEF. For students who are looking maybe for international business or want to combine international relations with another aspect as well, we've had plenty of students go on to top-notch places such as Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, CNN, CBS Sports. And like I keep harping on before, and I'm sure this is talked about in French as well, or we'll get to this in the comment section, is that even though you might be interested in political science and international relations now, keep your minds open. Whether there's different aspects of IR or political science that you like, whether it's the international aspect, you don't have to strictly be a diplomat. You can do and work for a variety of different companies in a variety of different roles using your background in international relations and political science. And speaking as an American, only 30% of Americans have a passport to begin with. So having an international perspective is very valued by US employers. And speaking of employers, our career outcomes for students really range the gamut. Top-notch companies, not just in the United States, but around the world as well. So if you want to stay in the United States and do something related to your major here, that's great. You want to come back to France, go to Paris, work for a company there, awesome. You want to go somewhere else in between, perfectly fine. We have graduates working for Netflix in Turkey, Goldman Sachs in South Africa, working at a hospital as a doctor in Brazil, or anywhere in between. A Drew University degree travels with you. So I know I've only had a short amount of time to really get at the core of kind of studying political science and international relations and that Drew has to offer. But at the end of this presentation, I don't know if we're doing questions at the end of each speaker or at the end of the whole presentation. I'd be more than happy to answer anything that you might have. And if you want more information for us, feel free to follow, like, and subscribe on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Are we calling it X or still? I have a passion for Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. We have specific videos as well for students who have done our international relations program. So you can get a firsthand view of what it's like to actually be studying international relations at Drew University.
Okay, Matthew, just to answer your question, they are currently asking questions in the chat and I answer in the meantime. So
sure, alrighty.
If there are any questions I don't have the answer, we'll come back to you at the end if it's okay for you.
All right, no problem at all.
Perfect. Donc maintenant, Jia Liu from George Mason University.
Sorry, I didn't notice I was muted. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jai from George Mason University. I also have our current student, a junior, who's doing policy and government. Leslie?
Hi, bonsoir. Excuse me. My name is Leslie, and I am a junior at George Mason University, and I'll be speaking a little bit of my experience after Jai presents her part.
Thanks, Leslie. I'll do a general overview on our university. So if you have never been to the US before, or have never heard of the capital, we are only 30 minutes away from the Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States, where 177 foreign embassies are located. And once again, it's just very easy commute. And we do have so many employers in our backyard, including Amazon, Boeing, the UN is there, World Bank is there, everything's there. We have great transportation system that students can utilize, and the shuttle is free. We are ranked #1 for Manilos to live in, and also #3, Fairfax is the happiest city in Virginia. Mason is we rank 51 public university in the US and also 105 for a national university. We're a tier 1 research institution, meaning every single year we do have a lot of funds, lots of funding allocated for students for research for different projects. Mason is the biggest university in the state of Virginia. We have about 40,000 student enrollment, and it's very diverse. About 40% of people living in Virginia, they actually speak another language than English. And it is very diverse. We have students representing 130 different countries. Great facility because we're so big. We have dining halls, restaurants, gym, library, labs. And it is very international. We have our Korean town, Chinatown, Vietnamese town, very accessible, and different food, different cuisines, different cafe shop. It is very safe. When you study abroad, I think the most important thing is you want to make sure you're living in an environment and study somewhere you feel really comfortable. And very nice weather for very distinct seasons. And we have, since we're the biggest public university in the state of Virginia, we have so many different programs ranging from bachelor's to master's and PhD. Today, we're going to talk about policy and government. And to you, Leslie.
Yes, hi. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my school, which is the Schar School of Policy and Government that I am enrolled in. So we have two main campuses where the school is located. We have the Fairfax campus, which is the main George Mason campus, and then we have the Mason Square Arlington campus, which is where the Schar School is headquarters is located. Again, like I mentioned, we have a super close proximity to DC, which is the capital of the United States. We have easy access to opportunities with government agencies, policymakers, think tanks, nonprofits, etc. We have a wide variety of experts, which are included in our staff and faculty in their respective fields. This includes heads of federal agencies, officers, international business heads, just name a few. We have two professors who are the former chief counsel of the CIA and the former director of the CIA. And then we have a former acting director of the FBI. And we also have a professor who is the former head of the Biological Science Directorate at the US National Science Foundation. We have a bunch of unique resources and programs that are specific for the Schar School. Just for example, we have the learning community. I was in a learning community when I was in my freshman year, my first year of college. It was a really great experience. Basically, it's a faculty-led and credit-bearing exclusive opportunities, and it's a community to make connections with people in your same interests and to further develop your career. And then we also have the Global Politics Fellow Program. It's a one-semester program for select students interested in international politics and global affairs to take exclusive classes based on the Arlington campus and incorporate significant internship experience. And we also have a lot of school events and activities, from notable guest speakers to invites to conferences, field trips, etc. Next slide. Yeah, just a few examples of our events. We had a visit from Vice President Kamala Harris just, I think, last year or the year before. And then just last year, I believe, the Schar students were invited to the White House in a welcoming ceremony to welcome the Australian Prime Minister. And then there's a few more. We had a visit from President Biden just last week, from First Lady Joe Biden also as a commencement speaker, and then also First Lady Michelle Obama. And talking a little about the Schar School majors. So the first one you see on there for undergraduate, the government and international politics, that's my major. It's a very popular and diverse major with students from all different backgrounds and interests in different fields of politics and international relations. We also have Bachelor of Arts in International Security and Law, Bachelor of Science in Public Administration, and then we also have a bunch of graduate master's degrees in biodefense, international security, political science, and public policy. And we also have a lot of alumni who succeed in their field after graduating from Schar School. So we have Xavier Clark, who is now a senior strategist team lead in the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. And we also have Riz Khalik. So he was a former Foreign Service officer, and now he's the CEO of Asima, which is a leader company in training software technology for Fortune 500 companies. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my study journey at Mason specifically. So one of the reasons I chose Mason was that I knew that I always wanted to do something related to international relations. And it just has such a close proximity to DC and so many opportunities I would not get elsewhere if I didn't attend Mason. There's so much diversity and inclusion, I feel, at George Mason, especially as a minority. And there's the study abroad programs are amazing. For my campus involvement, I'm also involved in a lot of clubs and student organizations, such as the Model United Nations, Sycamore Institute, which is a student-led government think tank. Also the Intelligence Community Network, for those of you who are interested in intelligence-wise careers. And then the Bridge at Mason, which is kind of a student-led discussion organization, which is aimed to close the gap with bipartisan discussions. And also have a lot of classes, which included amazing professors. Such things I include this year, I am attending a course called the Diplomacy Lab, which is a partnership with the Department of State to solve real-world diplomatic challenges. I'm also part of the undergraduate research assistant program in China's grant strategy, working directly under a professor as a research assistant. And also have a fellowship currently under the Center for Strategic and International Studies, which is CSIS. If you guys don't know CSIS, it is one of the top global think tanks in the world regarding security and relations. Yeah. Talking about the Mason impact, there's just some statistics from our students after they graduate and enter the workforce. As you can see, we have a really good employment rate after graduation, especially in diverse work fields and for international students also who want to stay and work in the US. And we are very supportive of our international student population. We have career fairs every semester, which give opportunities for our international students to connect with employers who sponsor their OPTs, visas, etc. And they have workshops also to learn more about those career opportunities. And just to move on, we have a lot of notable alumni also and their student testimonials. So this is the grandson of Nelson Mandela, which is the former president of South Africa. And then we also have an international student from China. So he actually interned at the World Bank, the UN, and the International Monetary Fund. So a wide range of internships. And we also have an international student from Kenya who majored in global affairs. And then last but not least, an international student from France, which really enjoyed our program here. So why choose George Mason? So you will have the biggest opportunities for location, connections, and opportunities. So you can immerse yourself in career-making experiences only available in Fairfax and the DC area. You can gain academic experience through training, learning, work, studying abroad, and you can gain hands-on experiences through research, internships, and a lot of job opportunities. And if you're interested, please look forward to following our social media to learn more about George Mason.
Thank you. On essaie de répondre à toutes les questions. Pour le moment, normalement, on est à peu près bon. Christina, we can speak about the Louis. Maintenant, on va parler donc de la Louis à Rome. On a eu pas mal de questions là-dessus. On pourra revenir dessus après.
Perfect. Thanks very much. Hello, everyone. I'm Cristina Fasone. I'm Associate Professor of Comparative Public Law and the Director of the PP program at Lewis. So I will give you some insight into this specific program. Lewis is a private university located downtown Rome. You can walk to Villa Borghese from where Lewis is. It's a very, very nice neighborhood. But let me just focus a little bit more on the substance and the teaching offers, whereas my colleague Sara Mariani will give you some insight on the admission procedure. So let me say that this program is offered by the Political Science Department, which, as you probably know, is ranked as the second in Europe and the 14th worldwide in the field of political science and international relations. So LUIS has had a strong investment in global engagement, but also on the quality of the faculty, research, and teaching. The program is an international program. It's taught entirely in English. The entry level is B2. And there is also a strong interdisciplinary imprinting, despite the name, the label, politics, philosophy, and economics, because we are part of the network of PP programs. There's more beyond these disciplines, because the idea, according to the political science tradition in Europe, is to also offer courses in economics, statistics, sociology, law, and history, of course. And the view that we try to promote is to foster knowledge to the students in order to try to analyze in an interdisciplinary perspective the various challenges that we need to face nationally at European level, but also at global level. And besides that, there is a strong investment at LUIS also on fostering knowledge of language, not only English. We teach academic English, indeed, because the level of English is quite advanced, but there is a compulsory second language you can choose from French, German, Spanish, Portuguese, Arabic, Chinese, and Russian. And there are labs on soft skills, like public speaking, for example, skills, and labs in data analysis, and lab in computer science. Giving you some insight into the teaching offer, the first and the second year are quite intense. There are core courses in a variety of different disciplines. For example, in the first semester, you will start with courses in sociology, contemporary history, microeconomics, because we really want from the very beginning to give you a sense on the need to create linkages and connection between the different disciplines in order to understand the reality. And the same path is taken in the second year, where you will have courses ranging from methods of social research, both qualitative and quantitative, international relations, political science, international law, EU law. And in the first and the second year, you will attend also what we call the Grand Challenge, that is meant to provide every student with both a strong conceptual framework, but to also apply that to practical activities, so to internship, project work. Project work are done in team, in groups, also in collaboration with NGOs, because another feature of LUIS is a strong connection with the institutional system, both the public sector, but also companies, so private firms, and of course NGO think tanks, which are based in Rome, and they have a variety of origins, European, so from the EU, national, but also international. In the third year, there are three majors between which you can choose. The first is on artificial intelligence, which doesn't mean that you need to do computer science. Is artificial intelligence to evaluate the social impact of artificial intelligence with pros and cons. The second track is sustainability. So you will have courses you can choose on courses on demography, climate change, and environmental sustainability, political economy of development, just to give you some insights. And on fundamental rights protection for those more interested in working, for example, in the field of advocacy and NGOs for the protection of fundamental rights. Besides that, there are some labs on data analysis, which is really a skill that everyone in the field of political science should have today, and computer skills that is not just Excel and Word, is introduction to programming. So you will have also introduction to Python as a system. And there is a final thesis. there are some examples of courses you will take, but I also want to emphasize in the short time I have the opportunity to study abroad, because those are quite remarkable. Next to the usual Erasmus program, which is carried out in the third year, there is a variety of international exchange program with non-European university, with university in the US, in Asia, Canada. And we have 3 structured exchange with University of Utrecht, Amsterdam VU, and Louvain, which allows you also to practice French in the case of Belgium, where you will live during your second year. You will spend an entire year abroad with the courses and exams that will get recognitions once you are back to our home university. And we have 3 double degree programs. One with Sciences Po Bordeaux, which has been in existence for 6-7 years. Students enrolled in the second year of the PP apply to be part of this program. The program implies that you go to Sciences Po Bordeaux in the third year, and you will get a dual degree, both from Italy and from France. Again, with the recognition of all the exams. We also have a double degree with Victoria University of Wellington in New Zealand, just to give you an idea of how we push students really to engage globally. And we have a brand new double degree program with Sciences Po, Paris, and the various campuses. As you know, Sciences Po is ranked the second worldwide and the first in the field of politics and international relations. And this program is of 4 years on the whole, while our regular program is 3 years. So the first 2 years in one of the campuses of Sciences Po, Paris, or one or the other, and the third and the fourth year at Louis. To conclude, in terms of what's next, I must say that most students enroll in the PP then decides to enroll in a master program, most likely international program. But I'm in contact with several students that work for international organizations, for national, European, and international agencies, as well as, for example, in the communication, research department, international affairs departments of international companies, and in several think tanks, lobbies, and NGOs. And with that, I give the floor to my colleagues. Here are my contacts.
Thank you a lot, Professor Fasone. And hello, everyone. I'm Sara, and I'm working in the International Orientation Office here at Louis University. And I'm here just to share with you some information about the requirements that we have here at Louis, because I see in the question and answer section that there are a lot of questions about the entry requirements. So first of all, if you need further support for the application, you can contact study experience staff, and they will be very happy to support you and to guide you towards the application procedure. So just to give you some general information, we have 2 different procedures: the direct admission and the international selection. So with international selection, you will go through the evaluation from the committee, and with the direct admission, you only have to upload the documentation that it's required. So if you have an SAT, an ACT, or an IB diploma with the minimum scores expressed in the call for application, you will have a quicker access to the course of your interest, in this case, PPE course. I have to highlight the importance of asking for help to the agency that will support you, because they can provide you with deeper support if you need any specific documentation or something similar. Now I would just pass the floor to Fanny to end the presentation. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much to all of you. On a répondu à pas mal de questions. Je vous invite à continuer de poser vos questions et je les transférerai aux personnes, aux différents intervenants. Pour la personne qui a demandé quels sont les 7 core courses, est-ce que c'était pour la Louise?
Yes, I can answer. Well, in the first year, the core courses will be sociology, microeconomics, contemporary history, public law, which I teach, by the way, political philosophy, history of political thought, and behavioral psychology and economics. Then for the second year, you will have methods of social research, political science, international relations, macroeconomics, international law, and EU law. But you will find more information, let me say, on Louis' website, the teaching offer of the PP. Specifically, you will find a list.
Okay, so then we are for international students and Louis University, what is the deadline to send your application?
You can submit your application by May the 31st. So May the 31st will be the last day available to submit the application through the international selection and the direct admission.
Ouais, je crois que j'avais déjà répondu à cette question en amont. Il y a plusieurs sessions pour la Louis et il reste encore 2 sessions, la session d'avril et la session de mai. Ce qu'il faut, c'est avoir tous les documents uploadés pour le 20 avril pour la session d'avril et pour le 20 mai pour la session de mai. Du coup, n'hésitez pas à m'envoyer un mail ou avec vos informations de manière à ce qu'on regarde votre dossier si c'est envisageable et dans ce cas-là, faire l'inscription au plus vite. Somebody is asking for the double degree with Sciences Po. Do you have a contact at the Louis?
Yes.
Yeah, just to tell the students who are interested in this program, it's right that for French students, they need to apply through Parcoursup. They can't apply directly to the Louis.
Yes, it's a joint selection procedure between Sciences Po and Louis, and for students with a French diploma, there is the Parcoursup, I think is the right pronunciation.
Parcoursup, yeah.
Yes, sorry, platform. Whereas for international students, it's a different platform, but the requirements are the same. And for Louis, I can provide with the contact of the colleague of the international programs that is following closely this program. Not sure where should I write this information.
Maybe you can write in the
general
chat, saying that you write to everybody. Lucas demande pour le test d'entrée à la Louis, quels sont les sujets, des questions. Il n'y a pas de questions, c'est vraiment sur dossier. For the Louis, they need to send out transcripts, their IELTS or TOEFL or Duolingo, the name and contact of a reference, their passport and ID, but there's no test, especially for this. Donc voilà, du coup, c'est juste nous envoyer tous vos documents et après, nous, on s'occupe de mettre tout ça sur la plateforme dans les temps pour que vous puissiez avoir l'inscription. Peut-on postuler à Drew ou Mason sans test d'anglais et faire des cours de mise à niveau interne? Il faudra de toute façon passer un test d'anglais, mais si vous ne souhaitez pas le payer, on peut voir pour qu'il vous envoie un lien pour un test Duolingo, mais il faudra de toute façon passer un test pour vous inscrire dans une université américaine. What is the IELTS score needed? Anybody wants to answer? I think it's
5.5.
5.5 for the Louis, and for Mason and
for Drew at direct entry, we're at 6.5 with subscores of 6, and then for our pathway program, we're at a 5.5 with subscores of 5. But we also accept IELTS and Duolingo and a lot of other scores if IELTS is not your fancy.
Voilà. Du coup, même si vous n'avez pas le score de 6.5 pour la Drew et George Mason, c'est pareil, vous pouvez être accepté, mais dans ce cas-là, ça sera avec un premier semestre avec des cours en anglais supplémentaires qui vous permettent d'avoir le niveau 6.5 rapidement. Est-ce que être en section américaine au lycée international est assez pour prouver ça. Alors, Sharon, est-ce que vous parlez du dual diploma? Je pense que c'est ça. There's one who is asking, he's in the American section in an international high school. Is it sufficient, or does she need to take an English test as well?
For Drew, if the medium of instruction was English, and you either have something on the Common App stating that it was English, or you have a letter from a teacher or a principal or counselor stating that you participated in English programs for, I think it's like 2 or 3 years, then we can waive it. So it's on a case-by-case basis. We just need proof that kind of you studied in an English medium program.
Okay, and for the Louis?
It's the same. If students have attended a course that's totally taught in English, they can provide us with a medium of instruction certification.
Okay.
So for Mason, in addition to those components, we also check on grades. So let's say a student is studying English 10, 11, 12 at an American institution, we will have to check on the grades. They have to be above like C or B minus. So once again, it is case-by-case evaluation.
Okay. There's a question for Mason or Drew. If a student studies at Mason or Drew, does it enable to work after in EU organizations?
Are they asking about in the EU organizations in the United States or at EU organizations in Europe?
I don't know.
All right. So if
EU
you want
organizations anywhere.
All right. So, well, legal, I can tell you about the states legally. I'm not any expert on European employment law. I think one of our presenters from Louis University said that they were an international employment lawyer, so they can give you better legal advice. But in the United States in particular, you have a year to work of authorization called OPT, optional practical training, in the United States that you can do. So you graduate, you can do the OPT, and then afterwards you can work with your employer to sponsor you for another visa or a green card to see if you can stay longer than that. But graduating from Drew does give you the ability to stay for 12 months to work.
Well, same as Mason. So we do, from the student testimonial, our international students actually had an internship with the, what's that called? International IMF, and then World Bank and the UN. Not really sure about the EU. Leslie, do you have more details on this? But our international students can definitely obtain internship in the OPT.
I'm not sure about the EU either, but I think it really just depends on the internship opportunities that you get yourself. Obviously, if you George Mason is so close to DC and so many international organizations there, you can get internships with them, and obviously that will more qualify you if you want to apply for a job in the EU organizations, either in the US or abroad. I think it better qualifies you for that.
Any other questions? No. Okay. I think there's no other question for the moment. So, well, it's perfect. Less than 1 hour, just 1 hour. One more. What are the qualities that are valued for the Louis?
Well, actually, we do not require something like a letter of recommendation or something similar. We just have the committee that will evaluate students one by one, considering their transcript and their academic background. So you will be evaluated considering those values.
Il n'y a pas de personal statement pour la Louis, c'est vraiment sur dossier scolaire. Après, si jamais, ils auront peut-être un entretien s'ils ont un doute, mais c'est vraiment sur dossier scolaire et référence. What are the tuition fees for Drew and Mason? I think we'll talk about the tuition and scholarships maybe, or do you want to talk a little bit about this quickly?
Sure, I can quickly run it through it. So it doesn't matter if you come as a pathway student, direct entry student, you're a domestic student, international student, everyone pays the same base tuition price before scholarships. So before scholarships, we haven't set the fall number yet, but last year, just to give you a sense, it was around 45,000 USD for tuition. And now for scholarships, you are considered for scholarships automatically. In our direct entry program, students are eligible for scholarships of up to 27,000 USD per year. So if you get the max scholarship, that would bring the cost down to in the high teens, low 20s for tuition. And you're automatically considered that at the time of application. If you come as a pathway student, we do give you an automatic pathway scholarship. For students coming from Europe, it's $10,000 a year, each year for all 4 years as well. So even though there's a scary base sticker price, no one pays the sticker price, and we do provide scholarships. So, you know, it's a free application if you work with study experience as well. So why not just shoot your shot and take a chance? You never know what you're going to get.
For Mason, we're looking around 20,000 per semester, and then about 40,000 for a year. And same as Drew, we do provide a lot of scholarship. And in addition to the regular initial scholarship fund, we also have continuous/renewable scholarship for students who maintain a strong academic standing. If they perform well and have GPA 3.0 or higher as an undergrad, there's an automatic scholarship of 3,000 every single year. If they have GPA 3.5 or higher out of 4, we provide 6,000 every single year. And in addition to those automatic scholarships, students can also apply to other scholarship, either in school or outside. Our student from Shar School, it is a very popular school, so there's a lot of scholarship available for qualified students.
Yeah, I just want to add for Shar School, each semester or each year, I believe, there is a renewable scholarship of between 1,000 to up to 5,000, depending on your academic merit records.
So that's so the amount Leslie mentioned is a separate scholarship. So it's in addition to the 3,000 or 6,000 I mentioned, which is the progression scholarship. So altogether, we're looking around maybe between like 5,000 to 8,000 per year.
Donc, les frais de scolarité que vous trouverez sur Internet seront toujours assez élevés pour un Français, mais il faut savoir que les États-Unis sont très généreux en bourse. Il y a des bourses automatiques pour les Français, déjà sans avoir besoin de prouver quoi que ce soit au niveau de votre niveau scolaire. Et il y a des bourses aussi pour les meilleurs étudiants. Donc, si vous avez un baccalauréat avec 15-16, vous pouvez avoir des bourses qui peuvent aller donc à Drew, qui peuvent monter jusqu'à plus de $20,000, ce qui fait que les frais de scolarité sont en dessous de $20,000 par an. Donc, ça peut être vraiment, vraiment intéressant. Sarah, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I would just tell something about the tuition fee for Louis' bachelor's degree and master's degree and the scholarships that we offer. So the tuition fee for the bachelor degree will be about 12,000 euros per year, and it's payable in 3 installments. And the same is for the master's degree. So the master's will be about 13,000 per year. About the scholarship, I can tell students that they will be automatically evaluated as soon as they apply. So they don't need to apply for a different call for application, but they will be evaluated for the scholarship in the meantime of the evaluation for the admission of to the course of their interest. So they can be awarded with a total or partial scholarship, and it's a very great opportunity that we offer to students.
Thank you. There was a question I answered. It was if I'm finishing my bachelor now, can I apply for a master's for next year? Yes, applications are still open for master's degrees for September. Donc, est-ce qu'on a d'autres questions? Souvent, une nouvelle question en appelle des nouvelles. Si vous avez encore des questions, n'hésitez pas. Après, je pense... Do you see my screen with my email and Voilà, du coup, vous voyez mon mail et mon numéro de téléphone. Le plus simple, c'est de m'envoyer un mail dans ce cas-là pour pouvoir avoir les informations qu'on échange sur votre dossier, voir au cas par cas quelle université, quelle bourse, quel programme pourrait vous correspondre. Donc, n'hésitez pas à nous contacter. La présentation sera aussi sur notre site et sur YouTube à partir de demain ou après-demain. Donc, vous pourrez la re-regarder si jamais vous aviez des questions. Et du coup, n'hésitez pas à nous contacter. Et je vous souhaite du coup une bonne soirée. Thank you very much to all of you for your participation to this webinar. I wish you all a very nice evening or afternoon or morning, depending on where you are.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Fanny, for your opportunity. It was a pleasure for us.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
De rien. Bonne fin de journée, au revoir.